Hello guys, welcome back to part 3 of What If Naruto Was Neglected. So first things first, we're gonna do the recap of the last, part. So yeah, during part, 2, we went over how, the Land of Waves arc and the start of the chunin exams. And how Naruto and Kakashi helped beat Zabuza. Naruto and Kakashi beat Zabuza and Haku with relative ease compared to Canon, since they are both stronger than their Canon counterparts. Yeah, and then in the chunin exams, we did the written part, and we're starting at the Force of Death. So yeah, we're starting at the Force of Death right now. So I'm gonna start back up where I left off. So yeah, at the Force of Death, at the Force of Death, Memo and Mito are gonna be let in, but the person letting them, opening up the gate and letting them in, that's actually gonna be Naruto, and he's gonna tell them that they should probably pass this with relative ease, and that they better if they want to ever catch up to him, because he does want to encourage them, because he does feel like they will be fairly good rivals in the future if they become strong enough. But he doesn't think they'll ever be able to compete with his skill level, which he's probably right about. But yeah, so Naruto is gonna go up to the Hokage's office and watch the thing, since he is a very valuable asset and is very smart. He has an IQ. He's smarter than Shikamaru was in Shippuden, in the Star Shippuden. So yeah, that's just gonna be how smart he is, because I don't want to get into the numbers of IQ and stuff. So yeah, he's pretty smart, and they want him there just because he's a useful asset. And Anko ends up reporting that Orochimaru is in the exams and has infiltrated them. And Naruto immediately puts 2 and 2 together and says that he's probably after Sasuke, since he would want Sasuke's body, since he does have an obsession with the Sharingan. And Minato, realizing this, is shocked that Naruto figured this out almost instantly. So Minato assembles a team of Anbu really quickly, and they teleport to Memu, Mito, and Sasuke. And this is when Orochimaru is gonna be fine, and he's about to put the curse mark on, until Minato blitzes and and kicks Orochimaru's head. Naruto wonders why Minato didn't kill him, but then he asks Minato explains that Orochimaru can be brought back to life. Since I'm gonna say when Orochimaru tried to leave the village, Minato must have killed him, so he knows that Orochimaru has means of being brought back to life. So yeah. So Minato and Orochimaru will get into a fast-paced battle. Then none of the Genin can keep up, and Naruto's having a hard time keeping up with. But Naruto doesn't really get fazed by this, since this is the 4th Hokage going up against a legendary Sannin, who are all Kage level in their own right, with Orochimaru being the strongest of the Sannin, even stronger than Jiraiya and Tsunade, being stronger than Jiraiya. So yeah. But their fight's gonna go pretty one-sided, with Minato basically in the upper edge, until Orochimaru decides to let out his bloodlust. Now this is the bloodlust of, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say it's the same bloodlust that, it's like half of what Kurama has. And, he starts leaking that out, and then Naruto begins to state that is a really low amount of bloodlust. And Orochimaru looks at him, kinda confused. And Naruto then releases his and Kurama's bloodlust, And this makes everyone, including Orochimaru on the battlefield, freeze in fear. They are scared out of their minds. Menma, Mito, and Sasuke, they all end up passing out from the bloodlust. Everyone in the forest can feel it, and everyone starts sweating, because if a presence like this is in the exams, they're all as good as dead. And with this high of a bloodlust, they won't hesitate to kill them. So Mito tells Naruto to cut it out, that'll scare everyone in the forest. So Naruto decides to stop doing it. And Mito ends up beating Orochimaru pretty easily. Not too difficult, but still a difficult battle. And, yeah, so Orochimaru's been defeated, and they lay Menma, Mito, and Sasuke, and they wake them up, and then they tell them that they have to finish the exam. Since they have both the scrolls, all they have to do is head back. And we're gonna go, to when Naruto's back at the thing. And Naruto and Mito come back to see that, Gaara is back, and Gaara's team is back. And Naruto, surprised that someone came back so quickly. He knew that Gaara was good, but he didn't know that he was this good. So, immediately Naruto decides to go get some food, because I'm just gonna say there's a cafeteria in that thing, and it has ramen, so he goes to get ramen there. And, yeah. And, yeah. They're gonna, Naruto is, gonna start eating there, and this is when Gaara and his team come around to get something to eat. Naruto's just sitting there eating some ramen, enjoying his life, until Gaara comes in and starts wrapping sand around it. And this is when Kankuro starts telling Gaara that he doesn't want to mess with this guy, or else he may get them all killed. And Gaara says that he doesn't care about Kankuro and Temari, that he only really cares about himself living. And Kankuro states that Naruto could easily kill Gaara. And Naruto then looks over at Gaara and begins to unleash some of his bloodlust. And this bloodlust is not a lot. But then Gaara starts laughing, saying that bloodlust will not scare him. So Naruto decides to release more than Gaara has, but not too much. And Naruto says that this is only a fraction of his bloodlust. So if Gaara wants to die, he can die. And Gaara begins to kind of get a little scared, because Naruto just said a fraction. And Gaara says, "What's your whole thing?" And Naruto states that the presence he felt in the forest was all of his bloodlust unleashed. And this scares everyone. Gaara, Temari, and Kankuro are all absolutely they're scared of Naruto. They don't want to mess with him anymore. Even Gaara is scared of him, since that bloodlust was enough to make even him become scared. Not frozen or sweating like the others. He was just scared. But if Naruto is more skilled than him, and has that amount of bloodlust, he won't hesitate to chop his head right off. So yeah, the next few days are gonna go by. Menma, Mito, and Sasuke are gonna get through. I'm gonna say on day 2, and everyone else makes it through. So yeah. Next comes the preliminary matches. All the normal matches are gonna be the same, except for Menma is gonna fight Kiba, Mito's gonna fight Ino, and and Sasuke's still gonna fight the chakra absorbing guy. So Sasuke wins his match, and Menma wins his, even though it's closer than it should have been. It's a pretty close match, even though it should have been a landslide victory. And Mito wins her match pretty easily, since she's stronger than Sakura was in canon. but not quite as, but not high level. She's more of a medical ninja. And her and Tsunade have been doing a lot of training. And yeah. And Tsunade is yet to teach Mito, like the chakra enhanced punch that Sakura had in Boruto. That was kind of overrated. Let's be honest. She wasn't very fast. You would have to be really slow. Or at least for the enemies in late Naruto, her chakra punch was pretty useless. It was useful against average people, but anyone higher than... I think even Kakashi could have dodged it. Maybe not post-Sharingan, but with Sharingan, Kakashi could have easily dodged her chakra punches. So yeah, they're kind of overrated, but yeah. And Naruto, I'm tired. All the canon fights would go the same, so Rock Lee would get injured, and yeah, all those fights would go the same. And Tsunade, seeing how hard Rock Lee fought, would immediately start working on a way for Rock Lee to recover. And she ends up finding the way that she can heal it and make the surgery more successful. And she ends up doing that, and the surgery goes through. Rock Lee still wait a little bit, since I'm going to have injury time. But by the time the month ends, it'll be good. But now we're going to go back to the end, and they'll be told that they have 1 month break. And everyone's going to go train, including Naruto. He's going to train with the Nine Tails, and even the Nine Tails are going to work on weakening the seal. They're going to try and destroy the seal, so that way him and the Nine Tails can, uphold their friendship. Because during this time, him and the Nine Tails have become friends. So yeah. They weaken the seal during this 1 month and train. The seal's pretty weak, where they only need a bit more work to fully destroy the seal. So Naruto and we're going to switch over to Mema Mito's point of view. Mema is going to be training with Jiraiya, getting Toad summoning, and he's going to work on Sage Mode. Since he already knows the Rasengan, he just doesn't use it a lot. So yeah. Naruto is, Mito's gonna start working on the chakra punch, since Tsunade knows that she needs to give it to her at some point. So yeah, I'm gonna have her work on that, and I'll say she gets it because she'll have some godly chakra control, like Sakura, but more on steroids than Sakura. So yeah. Sakura's godly chakra control is kind of an asshole, let's be honest. It didn't even make any sense. She really wasn't even that skilled, and then here she comes around with this godly chakra control. But yeah, she's gonna do it and learn the chakra punch. Naruto in this time also learns his trains his Uzumaki chains, since he has worked on accessing them. But they're something that he doesn't use much. And yeah. But that's basically all the training Mema and Mito do during the 1 month. Sasuke does the same training with Kakashi, but since Orochimaru never got the curse mark on him, he could train the whole month. So Sasuke's really prepared for Gaara's fight. And Sasuke is going to be stronger than Mema right now. The gap may not be too noticeable, but the gap used to be Sasuke was a bit stronger than Mema, or they were around even. But But now Sasuke is above Mema's level. I'd give Sasuke, like... If Mema was, like... If Mema, like, on power scaling... If Mema's power was, like, a 10, Sasuke's would be, like, a 12 or 11. So, yeah, they're pretty still close, but Sasuke's starting to move the gap along a lot. Since Mema is training on things that he won't really use in battle too much. So, yeah. So, yeah, we get to the, first round of the matchups. And, yeah. So, I'm gonna have, Mito versus some random person. And this random person is gonna be, I'm gonna say just another person from another team on the sand. No. Yeah, since I didn't actually think this through, there will have been another team that all, like, got eliminated or something. Yeah, like, the other two people on the team got pitted against each other, then they tied. So, yeah, that's how I'll do it. It's kind of like Sakura and Ino did. And this person's actually gonna do enough to severely injure Mito, or she's gonna need to be in the hospital for probably almost 8 months. That's how badly she was injured. Because, plot reasons. And, yeah. Naruto, then we're gonna have Menma versus Neji. The fight's gonna go pretty similar to Naruto's, where Menma tries a lot of different things, but just can't figure out what to do against Neji. And Neji's gonna block up all his chakra points. Now this is when it'll change. Menma will start using some of the Nine Tails chakra, which puts a smile on Mito's face, knowing that Menma succeeded in his goal of starting to use the Nine Tails chakra. And he can start training him in that, since Mito knows Menma needs something new to start closing the gap between him and Sasuke. But what Mito doesn't know is that the Nine Tails is only doing this to make Mito happy. The Nine Tails doesn't care for Menma. The Nine Tails hates Menma. The part of the Nine Tails that's inside Menma hates him. He'll never become friends with him. He's much rather go over to Naruto. And yeah. So, Menma, beats Neji, but it's gonna be different from the original. Menma's gonna end up, when they go in for their, like, 2 clashes, Menma's gonna break through it with, a kunai, like Naruto did, but then he's gonna stab Neji's arm and then punch Neji, knocking him out. And Neji's not gonna get talk no jutsu, so his whole the way he thought of the world will not be destroyed. Sadly. But younger Neji was kinda cooler than Shippuden Neji, since Neji was actually, he was kind of a badass. But yeah, so Naruto, will be watching this from the stands. He'll be pretty unimpressed with Menma, since this is the first time he's ever accessed the Nine Tails chakra, and it's pretty unimpressive for Naruto. Naruto begins to state that, okay. Naruto begins to, state that, Naruto, well, I'm having a brain fart. The next fight is gonna be, Shikamaru versus Tamari, since Kankuro dropped out of this fight against Shino. This fight's gonna go exactly as it would in the original. So yeah, now we're on to Sasuke versus Gaara. Sasuke is stronger than his canon counterpart, so he'll make Gaara bleed much quicker. And I'm gonna say that he can do... Yeah, he's gonna still be able to do the same amount of Chidori's. And he's gonna pierce Gaara's chest, and Gaara's gonna go insane. making him knock out, which starts the invasion. Naruto, seeing the invasion, tells Kurama that they should probably get going. So Kurama starts storing up chakra, gaining chakra, and then Naruto makes not 10,000 shadow clones. And they scatter all across the village to help defend it and evacuate people. Naruto begins to help defend the village while also sending a clone after Gaara and sending a clone up to the Hokage's booth, making sure that the barrier can knock it up, so that way the Hokage can stay alive during this encounter. And ends up he's not getting killed, making the sound Sound 4 have to retreat because he sent 4 shadow clones. No, the real one went up there. And yeah. So basically Naruto has a shadow clone in almost every part of the village that is defending it. So yeah, the invasion is going to go a lot less smooth with Naruto here because he is increasing the manpower of Konoha. And I'm just going to say that then he starts using the Nine Tails chakra and starts pumping out 30,000 clones, basically making an army and sending it out. Naruto is carrying the Leaf Village right now. And Mito, seeing this, realizes that Naruto is protecting the Leaf Village at the sake of his own chakra, basically. And wonders how Naruto is doing this. And he knew that Naruto had large amount of chakra reserves, but he never knew why. And he thinks it's time that he needs to find out why. Boys think about this, Orochimaru will land a hit on him. Orochimaru will say that he needs to pay attention to this battle. So then, Mito and Orochimaru will start clashing each other with Orochimaru's, blade that he pulled out of his stomach type of maneuver out of his throat. And using that to fight Minato. I forget what that blade's called. So yeah. Then, Naruto, after making sure the barrier's down and the Anbu can get in and help the Hokage with other people, begins to help protect civilians and evac civilians. It's actually going to get to the point where the Leaf Village doesn't even have to do the counterattack. They're going to hold the line against the attack and successfully repel it. Meanwhile, the Shadow Clone dealing with Gaara, Sasuke cannot deal with the partially transformed Gaara. I'm just going to keep that as planned. He used up too much chakra during the, the chunin exams fight, that he can't do it. So Naruto comes in and beats him up, and when Gaara fully transforms, Naruto summons a wolf, which pins Shikaku down much easier. Naruto smacks Gaara. Well, actually, it says he smacks Gaara, then spins around and puts an 8-trigram seal, sealing up Shikaku. After this, Naruto brings Gaara over to Mari and says take him, and says that he resealed Shikaku, since Shikaku was actually not sealed properly. So Shikaku was actually the reason for why Gaara was partially insane, and to let Gaara sleep and to explain this all to him. Tamari, hearing this, and hearing that Gaara shouldn't transform anymore, is really relieved, since she found him very scary, since he could transform any time he wanted to by just falling asleep. So yeah. They take Gaara back to the Sand Village, as well as the retreating troops head back to the Sand Village. And yeah, that's going to be about the end of the chunin exams. And Sasuke still has his hatred arc, but Naruto is going to be put in the Anbu after this. And he's going to do a lot of missions. So when Sasuke leaves the village, Naruto is out of the village on a mission. I am purposely doing this. While Mito is still in the hospital recovering from her fight, she's not really in battle condition. Memma will replace the spot as Naruto. The fights are going to go basically as the same, and Rock Lee will save Memma and let him go on and fight Sasuke, just like in the original. And the same ninja will come in and help them. So yeah, it's basically all going to go the same as canon until the fight. This fight is going to be an absolute slaughtering. Sasuke will absolutely bully Menma, since after going into Curse Mark 2, and Menma not being able to access any of the Ninetales chakra, he is getting bullied. The Ninetales only is keeping him alive barely. And Sasuke ends up leaving Menma half dead with a kunai through the right side of his chest and leaving him hanging on the side of a cliff. Naruto and his team of Anbu are some of the first people to get there and see the scene and realize that Menma never stood a chance against Sasuke, and that Sasuke is long gone by now, and that it's best to just return to Leaf Village. So they begin to bring Sasuke back, as well as recover the team before Kakashi can get there. So they got there pretty quickly. Sasuke never even has his moment where he says that him and Naruto were always friends. Sasuke in this timeline actually kind of hates Menma. He finds Menma kind of annoying. So yeah. The only reason he left Menma alive is that he didn't want the 4th Hokage coming after him. And the thing that, a smart thing that Orochimaru did, I'm going to say he comes up with a seal that he can place on someone and get rid of all their flying rising marks. So he gets rid of all of Sasuke's flying rising marks by placing the seal on him. So by the time the 4th Hokage knows that the mission failed, he can't teleport to Sasuke because his flying rising mark is gone. So yeah. Sasuke, now we're gonna do the 3-year time skip. For Sasuke, his power level is his strength is gonna increase drastically during this 3-year time skip. His strength is gonna be a little bit less than Naruto's, but that doesn't mean that Naruto wasn't training. This is because Sasuke took a lot of drugs and it kind of enhanced his performance. Yeah, he may have been snorting some cocaine. Maybe. So yeah, Sasuke, do that. And this is because he's the Indra reincarnation, Naruto's the Ashura. Sasuke has to catch up with Naruto. But this doesn't stop Naruto's own feats. Naruto and Kurama successfully broke the cage, and Naruto can now access KCM 2, which makes him extremely broken. And he's also learning, he also ends up accidentally meeting the Toads. On total accident. He's just going on a mission, and he meets a Toad, and they bring him back to Mount Moonboke. And the Great Toad Sage person says that Naruto, that he had a dream, and that he should give Naruto the key to the Ninetales without telling Jiraiya and them, because Jiraiya and them are kind of stupid in this timeline. And Naruto says they already broke the cage of the Ninetales, and him and the Ninetales are best friends. And all those frogs are in total disbelief, since they don't want Naruto. They don't want the Ninetale breaking out. But Naruto says, just watch. And Naruto and the Ninetales Naruto begins to go bright yellow. And this shocks the Toads. And this power is he seems pretty strong in this level, and they sense a great presence. And he turns into KCM 2. So yeah. And the Toads agree to teach him. They agree to teach him Sage Mode, since they know that Naruto is the child of prophecy. That's who they think Naruto is. They don't think it's Menma Mito. They think that that's a bunch of bullshit. And Jiraiya wasn't paying attention. Naruto fits the description of the Toad's dream, and who he looked like. So yeah. So now Naruto begins to work on Sage Mode while leaving his shadow clone back in the village. And Naruto's gonna get Sage Mode down in 3 weeks. I think that's a reasonable amount of time, since he isn't actually determined at the level he was after Jiraiya's death. So yeah, Naruto has Sage Mode now. And he also signs a Toad summoning contract. So now Naruto has 2 contracts. Yeah. Contracts. Yeah. So yeah, Naruto, oh man. That's my Naruto heads back to the village and disbands his clone and does the job himself. Like, does the, brain fart. Does the mission to kill a guy himself. And yeah, Naruto returns to the village and he sees Jiraiya. No, actually, he hears the Kazekage has died. Or has been kidnapped. And Naruto immediately asks to go on the retrieval team. And Naruto says they fought the Kazekage once before. And he wants to go meet him to see if he's changed at all, since he has become Kazekage. And Minato says sure, and then puts him on a team with Menma and Mito with Naruto and Kakashi. This team is perfectly suited for the job, since Naruto is now around Kakashi's level in strength. Yeah, I'd say around. That, maybe a bit stronger. Yeah. Because when he combines Sage Mode with KCM, he's pretty broken. And then and I also forgot to say, Naruto has mastered Flying Raijin. So, he is basically broken right now. He's like War Naruto without Sage's 6 pass power. But yeah. But when he goes all out and with all this stuff, he is way above Sasuke. But when he's just like in his base, Sasuke can kind of compete with him. Sasuke is stronger than him, but when he goes into Sage Mode, it's a fair competition. But once he goes into KCM, he beats Sasuke. Oh man. So yeah. Then we go, then they move over. Then Team 7 and Naruto are gonna head out to the Sand Village, and Mito still makes the what's it called? The motherfucker. The antidote and yeah, she makes the antidote and and they save Kankuro, and they move out to go fight him. So yeah, the fights are gonna go like this. Menma and Mito, are gonna, with Granny Chio, are gonna go fight Sasuke, who they easily beat. And since none of them really have an obsession with Sasuke, I'm gonna have, Menma have an obsession of catching Sasuke. Sasuke catches on to this and tells him that he was planning to meet Orochimaru, blah, blah, blah. All that. And, yeah. Naruto and Sasuke chase after Deidara. And I'm gonna say that Naruto asks Kakashi to keep this mode a secret from the village, and that he doesn't want the Hokage finding out about it. So he starts turning into the KCM2 form, while suppressing his chakra, all of his chakra. And then he blitzes Deidara before Deidara can even turn around, chopping, chopping a wing of the bird, and getting Gaara before Deidara can even react, and then flying Raijin's back to the spot with Deidara in his base form. Kakashi is shocked by the speed that Naruto has, but he saw it with his Sharingan, and he realized that this is a speed that can even rival that of the 4th Hokage. And he wonders how Naruto got the seal open, but doesn't really care, since it doesn't affect him at all. So yeah, Naruto and Kakashi bring back Gaara's dead body, and yeah, Toby is introduced, and yeah. Okay, I think I'll do the Tenchi Bridge arc. This arc's gonna go way differently. Sai's still gonna be put on the team, and Kashi's not gonna be bedridden, so Yamato's not gonna be there. And when what's his name? Orochimaru starts talking about Sasuke, Menma's gonna be the one that goes berserk and charges at him, and he's just gonna get obliterated, and Orochimaru's gonna obliterate everyone except Naruto. Naruto sent a clone out there because he only cares about fighting Sasuke, since he feels like Memo won't be able to bring him back to the village. Naruto has the responsibility to do so. So, Sasuke kind of has a harem. Kinda. So yeah. So, Naruto... Oh, sorry about the cough. Yeah, my throat's really sore. It's, 1:30 in the morning, and I'm bored, so I'm doing the what if right now, and I can't go to sleep, and I have school tomorrow, and I have to get up at 7, so I'm kind of in a bit of trouble, since I won't fall asleep for a while after this, and so I'll probably, do some other things, but yeah. Oh well. So yeah, Naruto sends a clone out on the bridge part, and that's basically gonna go the same without Naruto going berserk. Memo's gonna go berserk, and that will go the same with him bitch slapping Mito. And now, once they get to the lair, that's when things start getting hard. Sasuke's not gonna obliterate Team 7. He's gonna point to Naruto and ask him if they can have a battle. And Naruto nods his head, knowing that Sasuke is strong and that he's the only one that can do it. And Sasuke begins to start showing off his power and his... I'm gonna give Sasuke the Mangekyo Sharingan. And his Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto, seeing this, says to give him 1 minute as he begins to gather nature energy. And this is when he pulls out Sage Mode as well as KCM2. Naruto knows that his cover as Naruto, just nothing more, is blown, that he's now known as Naruto Uzumaki. Sasuke is astonished by this power, and begins to power up to his curse mark mode, but Naruto quickly blitzes behind him, and puts a seal on it. Which, this seal's gonna basically... It's gonna be like how Itachi sealed it away. That's gonna be exactly what it does. It's gonna seal it away, and Sasuke's gonna be like, why did you seal that away? And Naruto said that it was Orochimaru's plan to take over his body. And Sasuke, after hearing this, knowing that Orochimaru had planned to take over his body, Orochimaru begins to leap towards Sasuke, trying to subdue him and take over his body. And Sasuke's just gonna kill Orochimaru right then and there. And then he's gonna turn his attention over to Kabuto. Kabuto's gonna already have teleported away. So now, Naruto and Sasuke begin to battle. It's a high-paced battle with very fast-paced action. And Naruto ends up getting the upper hand and beats best Sasuke. But Naruto, instead of forcing Sasuke back to the village, tells Sasuke to get stronger and that he wants to have a better fight next time. And Sasuke begins to return to the village, and Naruto and him fist bump, saying that they'll each get stronger to have good fights in the future. Have competitive fights in the future. So yeah, they all return to the village. Naruto is known as Naruto Uzumaki. That all gets spoiled. Minato asks him why he didn't tell him. Naruto says because he didn't feel like it, because they neglected him. And he basically lived by himself, so he didn't even really need the name of Uzumaki, since your last name is supposed to be your family, and since Naruto didn't have family, and since him and the Nine-Tails have been friends since around that point of time, and this shocks me, Naruto saying that him and the Nine-Tails were friends since he was around, they had been talking since he was 4, and Mito begins to look over to Menma or Mito, and he's like, have you made contact with the Nine-Tails? And both of them just shake their head no. Mito hasn't even accessed his chakra. And Kushina says, how could you become friends with such a demon? And Naruto says that the villagers and them called him a demon, so they both were demons, so they could both be... It was perfect for them to be friends. And Kurama starts laughing. So Naruto begins to make a shadow clone, and lets Kurama take over the clone. And Kurama starts speaking about how him and Naruto had been friends, and such. And Kushina's baffled by this because she just saw Kurama as a demon that could never understand a human. But Kurama said that they treated Naruto like a demon. So it was only right that Kurama would befriend him, since Kurama is also treated like a demon. And that since he hated being sealed away in people, Naruto really changed his point of view of people in general. So yeah. But Naruto begins to look around and says that he's gonna go back to his home. And this is when Kushina says that he needs to come back to their home because he's part of their family. Well, yeah, family. And Naruto says no, and begins to state that they're just changing up on him now, since they've seen the type of power that he has achieved by himself. And that he'll stay by himself for as long as he feels like it, because the power that he possesses, basically, like the power that he's achieved was all from hard work, and he'll continue to work hard and not be like given a thing. He'll come up from nothing, basically, and be the strongest. So he just walks out of the room, and when Kushina tries to send her Uzumaki chains to stop Naruto just sends chains and blocks all of hers, which leaves everyone even further dropped. And everyone, Kakashi and other people, are all asked, like, what do you know about Naruto? Like, and Kakashi says that he knew all along, but Naruto seemed happier living alone with the Nine Tails. So yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good place to end off, since I think the next arc I'll be covering is Jiraiya going off to Pain. And yeah, I'll leave it off here, since Jiraiya going off to Pain and the whole Pain arc I'll probably do a whole part of, and then yeah. Okay, thank you guys for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, you might as well hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. I would like to thank you guys for the growth on my channel for the past year. I mean, not year. Over the past first 3 days of my channel, of me making a channel and posting on it. It's really amazing. I never thought I would have 14 and maybe 15 by now. I don't remember. It was 14 last time I checked. People would subscribe to me. So thank you guys, and yeah, peace. See you in the next part.